All right, guys, you're welcome to the 37th question on this very challenge. We are still solving problems on differentiation, and we have another exciting problem here to solve. I'm going to show you how to go about the solution one step at a time. So, this question is very similar to the previous one we solved. That is question 36. If you've seen question 36, I'm very sure you have an advantage in solving this particular problem. But maybe not. Let us see how we can solve it here in this video. So let's get started. Now, the first thing I want you to remember is if I have the square root of x, this is the same as x to the 1 over 2. That's clear, right? If I have the cube root of x, this is the same as x to the 1 over 3, right? Perfect. So look at this stuff right here. It's going to become y is now equal to 1 upon 1 plus x squared all to the what? 1 over 2. Perfect. You're all following this stuff. Now, the next thing I want you to remember is whenever sometimes we have some rational expression like 1 over x, we can still put this rational expression in index form as x to the negative 1. I hope you remember. And if I have 1 over x squared, I can still rewrite this stuff as x to the negative 2. Right? So it continues like that. Even if I have 1 over x to the 1 over 2, I mean 1 over 2 in terms of a power here, I can still write this stuff as x to the negative 1 over 2. So that means if I have 1 over 1 plus x squared to the half, you know what it is. I can write this guy as 1 plus x squared all to the what? Negative 1 over 2. Now, this is very easy to differentiate using the chain rule. And I'm very sure if you've been following this video consistently, differentiation by chain rule shouldn't be a problem for you because we've actually deleted that. We actually destroyed it. We actually destroyed it, guys. So now let us see how we can differentiate this function. So y is a function of x. So if I really want to differentiate y with respect to x, and that is exactly what they want me to find, that is simply going to be the base is going to multiply the exponent, which is negative 1 over 2, is going to multiply the base. So I have negative 1 over 2 times the base, which is 1 plus x squared. Then the next thing we do is to remove 1 from this power. So minus 1 over 2, that is going to give me minus 3 over 2. This is just simple, what do you call it again? Fractions, subtractions of fraction. And that is not all. Remember, once we are done with this stuff, we still go ahead and differentiate the inner function or the composite function. Yeah, so that becomes, if you differentiate 1, you're going to get 0 because 1 is a constant. And if you differentiate x squared, that will give us 2x. Perfect. And this is just very interesting, right? Now, the next thing to do is to clean up the work. Clean up the work, multiply out and get your final result. So see what's going to happen right here. If this quantity here multiplies this quantity here, so I'm going to have something like minus 2x upon 2, right? That is really clear. And then I still have 1 plus x squared to the negative 3 over 2. Perfect, perfect. Now you can definitely see that this 2 is going to cancel out this 2. That makes it a lot easier. I love canceling numbers. And now we have negative x right here. And maybe my answer is not in this form. You can see this question, we don't have any option here. So you're likely going to see your answer in this very form. Or basically, they might even want to take it a lot more deeper. Okay, see what I'm saying here. This is like negative x. If I really want to get rid of this negative power here, that will become times 1 over 1 plus x squared all to the what? 3 over 2. I hope you still remember all this stuff. Taking the negative sign back to the rational expression, you should remember all these things. So then you can also say this is negative x upon 1 plus x squared all to the what? 3 over 2. This is another way you can see your answer. But maybe they are really crazy. They can take this stuff a lot more further than this. So what I'm trying to say is that whenever you have stuffs like this, let me quickly show you this stuff here. If you have maybe y to the 3 over 2, this stuff here is representing the power, and this stuff here is representing the root. So I can rewrite this stuff as the square root of y all to the third power. I mean, let me show you something else. If I have y to the maybe 5 over 3, the numerator is the power, y the denominator is the root. So this is going to be like the cube root of y all to the power 5. I think you still remember this indices stuff. If you don't know how to go about indices, in our video content here, go to our playlist and check on grade, is it grade 10 stuff, grade 10 playlist. You're going to see questions on how we solve problems on indices, or you just type on your YouTube indices by Obasimatic. I think that is very, very straightforward. So that means I can still go further to express these guys as negative x upon, this is the power, this is the root, that will be square root of 1 plus x squared all to the power what? 3. So this is the last bus stop. This is our final dy dx. I mean, JAMB, they could actually take this stuff to the very supremum of its expression. So to this point, there's no other way you can simplify further. This is the last of it. So thank you very much. If you still have doubt in this particular video, do want to put it down in the comment section. And if this video has been helpful for you, don't forget to share to other learners, and always give us a good thumbs up. Share this video as much people you can share it to, and God bless you. Thank you very much, and I can't wait to see you in the next video challenge. Bye for now, and God bless.